Good afternoon. Some of you may have noticed in the program that I am listed as the CEO of Accenture. Unfortunately, I am not. I do appreciate the show, the organizers of today's forum giving me that title, but I think that our current CEO of Accenture, David Rowland, might take slight offense. So my name is Joyce Kline. I am from Accenture's North America Aerospace and Defense practice, and I am part of our digital organization within Accenture, and specifically I work with our clients in North America on all things digital. So I really appreciate the opportunity today to share some perspectives on the area of data and the talent imperative. So first of all, data. Today's conversation has been quite interesting in terms of data, big data, applied intelligence, machine learning are many of the topics that were discussed today. And if I think about the products that your companies manufacture, the data that comes off of these products, as well as the data that is being enabled, is tremendous. Your data fuels your products, and data provides the opportunity of new services. So I could use our time today to talk about things like AI and machine learning, and how that's transforming the enterprise from sales all the way through to services. I could talk about gigabytes of data that come off of commercial aircraft with every flight that's being taken. I could talk about the integration of third-party data sources and how that's helping to enrich the already existing data that organizations have and are using across their enterprise, and also are being used to fuel new services that are being delivered to aerospace and defense customers. I could talk about analytic platforms and how these platforms are ingesting both structured and unstructured data, and how this information is enabling real-time solutions that years ago we didn't even contemplate existing. And then I could couple that with capabilities around edge analytics, and specifically talk about the benefits that are being enabled through IoT-related capabilities. One of the other areas I could cover is around data management and data governance. And for an organization like Accenture, data management and data governance are becoming core conversations that we're having with our clients, mainly because data is so foundational, and the aspect of ensuring that we have a single version of the truth is so critical. And lastly, I could talk about the digital thread and the enablement of digital twin, and how the various terabytes of data that your organizations have are helping to converge on the development of digital thread and digital twin. And so while I mentioned I could speak about any of these different topics, I'm actually going to use our time today to talk about what I think is something that's most critical, and it deals with your employees. Because they are a very precious resource, and the fact is, without these critical resources, the enablement of activities associated with data and analytics would be challenging and difficult to actually produce. So I'm going to focus today on 3 areas relating to data and analytic resources, and that is around innovation priorities and the talent gap, talent challenges that we're facing in aerospace and defense, and how do we source the talent to deliver the capabilities we need in data and analytics to enable the companies that you work for. So we're going to start first with the talent priority and the talent gap that exists today. So Accenture recently completed a survey of leading aerospace and defense companies, and what I'm going to share is some of the data and information associated with that. One of the things that we found is that innovation investment priorities are really critical to making this talent issue a reality. And supply chain and logistics, that functional area emerged as the top business functional area for innovation in our survey. And what was so surprising is supply chain and logistics came out on top, and it really edged out design and development activities. And it also came out well ahead of sales and aftermarket services. So again, I'll focus a bit on the results from supply chain and logistics. So when we look at supply chain and logistics, and specifically at the digital capabilities necessary in that functional area, and if we double down on data and analytics, skills such as AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning, data analytics and visualization, and customer experience analytics, what we found is that 71% of the individuals surveyed view analytics-related skills as extremely important. So 71%, keep that in mind for a minute. And then when we look at talent across all business areas, so this isn't just supply chain and logistics, it was across all, we find that there's a chasm, and it's a pretty deep one, between identifying the importance of digital and the ability to deliver. In fact, 48% feel that they do not have the talent necessary to build and scale digital strategies. And this is extremely problematic in the areas such as artificial intelligence, machine learning, data and analysis and visualization capabilities, and also customer experience analysis. So we have the situation where we know the skills are critical, but we don't have the talent to address it. So first issue, a challenge with talent. Now I'm going to move from the talent gap into some talent challenges. What we found here is that 71% of the respondents feel that they lack the skills to work with digital tools and technologies, and they say that this is hampering their organization's ability to innovate. 71%, a pretty large number. So what we find is that increasingly rapid changes in technology are requiring a more adaptive and a flexible workforce. So we need people to have the ability to change and to use these new tools and skills. We also found that 90% of aerospace and defense executives cite the inability to combine the power of humans and machines as their top challenge for building and scaling digital pilots. So the implication of these challenges is that employees need to be trained in how to perform these critical digital skills of data and analysis, data visualization, and also advanced analytics. And to effectively upskill employees and manage this talent transition, it will be important to find the balance so that employees work effectively next to the automation and other robotic processes. So we need to find that critical balance between giving workers the right skills and tools and technologies that they need, as well as the comfort to manage effectively against the automation that's going to be necessary moving forward. So I'm painting not the best picture here in terms of, the need for innovation, the challenges that organizations are facing. And now I'm going to move into another topic that's not going to make it that much easier either, and that is, where am I going to get the talent to deliver? So where will the industry find the talent that it needs to manage this digital promise? Well, first of all, I want to take you back to that area of our survey where we focused on supply chain and logistics. There were 14 roles that we surveyed, and you see them all listed here. Earlier, I spoke about artificial intelligence and machine learning, data analytics and visualization skills, and also customer experience analytics. Well, one of the things that you find is that every large aerospace and defense company needs over 1,500 scarce resources just for supply chain and logistics alone. This does not account for all the other functions in the company. So I'll let that weigh in for a minute. 1,500 scarce digital-related skills needed for supply chain and logistics alone. So not only do these companies need thousands of resources, but they're also going to need them in the right location. So now the fun. Oops, I clicked too fast. Let's take a look at where people want to live and where some of the aerospace and defense hubs are located. There's a significant misalignment between aerospace clusters and where the talent resides. So if I just pick a few and I look at the distance between Toulouse and Paris, or in the US, if I look at the aerospace cluster in Wichita, Kansas, against opportunities that are located in Silicon Valley. In both of these situations, it's a pretty vast distance in terms of where the talent wants to reside and where the companies are located. So what we're also seeing is there's emerging demand across a wide range of industries for this scarce digital talent. And it's not just talent that is looking at aerospace and defense. So while a few years ago, our industry was a hotbed for resources skilled in data analytics or the engineering fields, in today's world, it's fierce competition. As we like to say at Accenture, it's a war for talent. So we have to figure out how to make our companies very attractive to individuals. And how do we find the opportunities to recruit and retain? And it will be a struggle for some aerospace and defense manufacturers. There's actually even a lot of pressure where students or new hires can go and find not only opportunities with startups, they also can go to some of the internet companies as options as well. So if I just go back to startups for a moment, there's opportunities if we look at some of the locations in Europe or London, Paris, and Berlin. Top EU startups had a combined investment since 2011 of over 20 billion euros. So you can see it's not just let's go to the stalwart A&D company, but also let's explore opportunities with the internet companies and with startups, all of which makes it even more difficult to find that scarce talent. So in terms of where to find the talent, there are areas with the largest gaps. And these largest gaps, in our view, are with artificial intelligence, machine learning, analytics, customer experience, and there are strategies associated with recruitment and upskilling that can be explored. So one of the things that I'd like to do is put recruitment in perspective for you. Okay, if you take a look and remember, there were the 1,500 individuals, those scarce data science types that were looking for to fill roles within supply chain and logistics so that we could drive from proof of concept to production. Well, if we take a quick look, which we did last week, we looked at Indeed.fr, and we found 1,900 data science job openings in France, with the majority of those happening to be in Paris, by the way. And a LinkedIn search also showed us that there are 14,000 people in data science roles in France. So a single large aerospace company in France would be looking to absorb a significant portion of data talent to successfully implement their digital strategies. So we have a little bit of a disconnect here in terms of where the available resources are and how are we going to source that scarce talent. So how will firms do it? Well, the competition is pretty intense, and resources want to be located in major metropolitan areas. So while there are strategies and opportunities associated with recruitment and upskilling, other options involve leveraging technology partners, working with local universities, working with local schools, establishing capabilities associated with remote workforces and trying to find ways to build that connectivity such that the remote worker feels like they're part of the organization. And then the other option is looking at firms that provide capabilities around skills as a service. So it's not a very rosy picture, but at the end there are opportunities and strategies that can be explored. So it's been a little bit of a quick journey, but I wanted to first of all thank you for this opportunity to take you through some of the challenges and opportunities that we see around how do you find effective effective talent to fill your critical digital skill needs. At the end of the day, our situation is this. We need to find the right talent and make sure that they have the appropriate skills to manage this fundamental thing that we're all involved in, which is a digital transformation. One of the things that we're seeing at Accenture as well is that organizations need to manage their legacy organizations and need to manage the talent that fuels their legacy organizations, while at the same time, it is a war to find the right resources that are going to help you build your digital organization of the future. So what will be critical here, and we call it the wise pivot, is to manage your legacy businesses while building your digital skills and capabilities so that you can effectively have the resources you need to support your digital transformation. It'll be an interesting balancing act, and I'm confident that you'll be able to achieve it. So thank you very much for your time today, for the opportunity to share the importance of the workforce for our digital agendas. Thank you.